Chào mừng quý vị quay trở lại với phần cuối cùng của chương trình Tôi Việt Nam ngày hôm nay và tiếp tục phần trò chuyện cùng ông Jack Harding, là nhà sáng lập và là tổng giám đốc của tập đoàn công nghệ bán dẫn eSilicon đến từ Hoa Kỳ. Và trong phần này, mời quý vị cùng tiếp tục theo dõi những chia sẻ liên quan đến kinh nghiệm khởi nghiệp và những chia sẻ của ông dành cho các nhà đầu tư quan tâm đến thị trường Việt Nam. Mời quý vị cùng tiếp tục theo dõi.
Now, if you're looking back at your whole journey as an entrepreneur, given what you know today, would you have done something differently if you have a chance?
So I've been working 36 years, and in 30 of them, I've been in startups.
Yep.
I don't know that I could do anything else. I love the freedom, the innovation, the self-actualization, the idea of taking 8 PowerPoint slides and creating a business, 5, 10 years later. That to me is an irresistible attraction. So no, I have no regrets. And I suppose I could have had a more luxurious life working for big companies and more perks and all the good stuff. But the thrill that I get watching a team, just like here in Vietnam, take an idea and turn it into a reality that people use in the millions all over the world, nothing beats that.
If you can remember, what was your greatest decisions as an entrepreneur?
Well, I started my job at IBM, which is an excellent company to begin in, a great training, education. And I tell people that the second best decision I ever made was to join IBM, and the first best decision I ever made was to leave IBM and become an entrepreneur. And so it was just jumping into the water and just saying, I'm going to make this work. And I don't know that there's any one thing I ever did to say that this changed my life. It's a daily process. In fact, I go even bolder than that, Con, and say, entrepreneurship is a state of mind. It's not something you turn on when you go to work and turn off at night.
It's always there.
It's always there. It's how you view the world. It's the lens through which you observe the world. And letting myself go as a young man and participating in my first startup, where I was just a worker, I wasn't the leader, that changed my life permanently.
Now that leads to my next question. If you want to start a business in high-tech industry, should you have some experience with a big corporate first?
Well,
corporation first?
Yeah, I think in general, yes. I mean, there's a very fine line between being in academia and going to work in a large or medium-sized company. It's just the continuity of your education. It goes from theoretical to practical, and it sort of eases you into the real world, and that transition is important. So I do think it's very valuable to start in a large company, and if nothing else, it's good to understand the contrast between the decision-making process and the sense of urgency in a large company versus that in a small company, which happens in seconds versus days. And I value every day I spent at IBM and what they trained me to do and the perspective they gave me. But I think I'm a better entrepreneur because I have that reference point in my mind.
How can we create an environment or ecosystem that truly support the entrepreneurship?
Well, as I said earlier, I think Vietnam is doing it now. I've met with some of the local leadership in Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City, from the mayor's office. They're very accommodating. How can we help? What are your needs? I've met with many of the professors at the universities, the provosts of the universities in Da Nang, many of his staff members, and they all ask the same question: how can we help? And if that's the mindset, you're 3/4 of the way there. And hopefully we can be a good partner in reciprocating with opportunities for students to be trained. We work with a charity called the Sunflower Mission, where we give out dozens and dozens of scholarships on an annual basis, and we try to bring our part of the contribution back into that relationship. And as long as that mindset's there, the word that Vietnam is a great place to work, it will be out in the community. And I think, frankly, but from the buzz around the people who know me and know that I've put 2/3 of my employees in Vietnam, they know I'm committed here, and I think people already understand that you're well on your way to being successful.
If some international companies come to Vietnam and want to invest in the semiconductor industry and looking for your advices, what would you tell them?
I would tell them 3 things. First, I would say, decide what it is you're looking to do. If you're going to invent it's one set of challenges. That's what we do here at eSilicon. Invention takes place here. If you're going to manufacture, that's a different set of challenges and requires a different set of skills. So first, understand what your goal is, because it's harder to find in people who invent than to the people who can operate manufacturing equipment. Secondly, I would make sure they understand that the end user marketplace to sell semiconductors here in Vietnam is still underdeveloped. So we don't have a lot of customers here. We do a lot of invention here, but we don't sell here. And so that's a second issue. And thirdly, I would say this about any geography, understand the culture and the legal system and make sure it's consistent with your goals as a company. For us, Vietnam has been a very good partner for us, both legally and culturally, but it's not always the case for every company, depending what your goals or culture might be. So they're the three things I would look at. But I would, when I first got here 5 years ago, frankly, I went right to the U.S. Embassy, and I said, I don't know anything about Vietnam. Can you help me understand this society and culture? I said, is there any issue of corruption or anything? And interestingly, they said, you can come here with an open mind and understand that the Vietnamese government understands what creates jobs and economic development and not worry about it. And so I came here with those assurances from people that are here to help facilitate U.S. companies enter new markets. And that was a great starting point for me. That and the informal analysis allowed me to say, you know what, we can be successful here.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của ông Jack Harding, là nhà sáng lập và là tổng giám đốc của tập đoàn công nghệ bán dẫn Esillicon của Hoa Kỳ, về những kế hoạch tại thị trường Việt Nam cũng như những quan điểm của ông liên quan đến việc khởi nghiệp trong lĩnh vực công nghệ. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình này trên website fbnc.vn hoặc là facebook.com/tôi Việt Nam. Thân ái chào tạm biệt.